And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Forbidden History series, Ask Desert Owl, and with NinjaCat. And thank you, Ninja, for engineering here. And we had a rough start yesterday, but uh, we're we're doing it. So when you get away from it a little while, you get a little rusty, and you have to figure things out all over again. So and I couldn't do it without Ninja for sure. So she's been a great support and help for almost 3 years now, and also helping me big time with the book of the Kayla D with the translation of the Lost Gospel, the first gospel ever to come to England's shores 3 years after the resurrection. So we're going to talk about that. And I want to start doing the series again of the Forbidden History here on Ask Ninja Cat or Ask Ninja Cat, Ask Desert Owl. I can't even see it; it's below the screen there. I want to welcome all of our friends out there and new listeners as well. Jennifer and old friend Jackie, who used to have a wonderful program herself from Pennsylvania. And I don't know if you're still doing that program anymore, Jackie, but send me a link if you are. I'd like to check you out again. So anyway, there's so much going on. I feel like I want to call this the end of the year special because we're, if anybody has a gauge on where we are today, the handwriting's on the wall. I think you know that with the genocide, I probably, got to watch what I say here, but the thing that's going on worldwide to take down the population and all that is real. And so, Ninja, didn't we have another graphic that we're going to? We were going to go to the one where I talk. This water is getting a little hypnotic for me. Okay, can we change that to my? Thank you. All right. You got to have your checklist, cheat list in front of you. That way you check it off. Okay, thank you. All right. So anyway, yeah, we're under the sea, and rather interesting because I just got an email in from a friend who mentioned New York City and said that it was pegged for being hit by a tsunami, and I don't doubt that at all, because we know how the game is played, ladies and gentlemen, and what really sets the tone for that being most likely is the fact that they across the harbor or across the Hudson River, I guess on the New Jersey side, they built this giant statue of somebody pointing at New York City. It's like a giant white head and an arm. I don't remember, exactly how it looked, but it was pointing at New York City. And to build such a gaudy and strange monument, to me says clearly that they're telling you, in other words, if you're in the know, like, the secret club, then when you see that pointing at New York, that's when it's time to hook it and leave. Okay. So it's very likely that is what is about to play out because they're taking down our world. I can't get over these people that have it in for everybody on the planet, including their own planet, and how they think that. But they sold their souls to blood oaths and code words and what have you. It's really a tragic world. And hey there, Victoria, good to have you from Florida. And so we're in a lot of trouble. We're going to open with a couple examples of symbolism, but before I do that, I want to go to a special presentation. It's like a 10-minute clip from his 90-minute, or not 90-minute, but about 50-minute audio presentation, 40 or 50 minutes, by Stephen Jacobson, a longtime friend who did the all-time classic on mind control in America, exposing the strategy to manipulate your mind, and also Wake Up America, exposing the oh geez, it's been so long, exposing the money. Anyway, exposing the funny money that they put on us. He did two all-time classics. When I was last century, when I was a political activist and driving the big truck on coast to coast and had United Truckers Defending the Constitution, I used to listen to these audios. I didn't know Stephen at the time. And then after I went through my persecution and my survival of the panhandle of West Virginia by the criminal cartel that runs the mind control state of West Virginia. I then wrote to Stephen while I was still stuck there, and we became friends. So for almost 20 years now, I've been friends with Stephen Jacobson, who gave us the all-time classic. You can go to his website. It's mindcontrolinamerica.com. Mindcontrolinamerica.com. In fact, Ninja, can you put the graphic up before you put up the audio, if you would please, since I'm talking about it? And so Stephen worked for New York City, and he the television and made commercials and the the movies and all the stuff they did out of there, and and then he saw the manipulation and the control. And he had a rather interesting father as well, who was a hypnosis, and so he was probably in that that clique to some degree. But so he walked away from New York, and give me a heads up, Sister Ninja. Okay, not hearing anything from you. Thank you. Okay, and so anyway, Stephen literally walked away from a career, okay, in order to be able to produce these two all-time classics. And but he didn't count on the fact that his sister was going to rob him of his house. It was his mother's house, and so she kidnapped mom and put him out on the street and sold the house. And so Stephen, he's very deeply spiritual. That's really his whole makeup, is that he's element beyond the fact that he had his house stolen from him and that he's had to relocate. But the people at the ashram, and we're getting some buffering right now, so I hope we're not going to lose the program. So if we do buffer, ladies and gentlemen, you just refresh. You try refreshing a few times, and if that don't work, then are we not broadcasting at all? Okay, we're trying to come back. Hang on. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so what was I saying here? That Stephen, he didn't count on the fact that at the ashram, then when this this scam that's been going on for 2 years, and he being a free thinker and knowing the score, decided, not like everybody else at the ashram, to get the thing stuck in his arm. And so because he didn't want to get the thing stuck in his arm, then he and Victoria, you're saying buffering, but I'm not, but I'm traveling. Okay, you're traveling and listening. Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Good now. So so because of that, they put Stephen in his own little cabin, so to speak. They moved him out of the situation that he was in and kind of put him off in left field. And Elisa from Wales, good to have you. Thank you so much for the heads up. And so so it's rather tragic, ladies and gentlemen, when this guy did all of this work to serve us and to do it, never made a profit. You don't profit by telling the truth. You get persecuted, and you have everything happen to you because there's a cartel behind you working to destroy all of your efforts, as my retired intelligence officer friend, who was apparently working both sides. It took 10 years to figure it out. Any group bigger than 3 people has been infiltrated, and so there's a certain amount of truth to that, not that it's literally true. So anyway, I want to share with you a piece of my friend Stephen Jacobson on his work, and then hope that maybe you'll share this information, share this today's YouTube presentation, and then maybe Stephen can get some help. I'm going to support him, and as long as we're broadcasting, until I know he's situated in a better place. But he's got nowhere to go. He's got books like I do. He's got lots of books, because he's a reader. He's a deep thinker, and he's turned me on to some really great stuff to help me answer some questions. Like one day I called Stephen and said, Stephen, because I know you hang out with these people from India, and I know the world is being run by the Hindus, or someone from the ancient Aryan culture. And he said, so talk to some of your friends. 2 weeks later, he calls me back. He says, Desert, a friend of mine says you got to read this book, Vedic Cultures, Global Existence. Vedic Cultures, Global Existence. And right there, it was pointing out, that that was a one world order back before the Great Flood, and they were all speaking the same words all around the globe. That's why in Indonesia or other parts of the remote parts of the world, they're using words that still are relative to words that we use, like papa for father, or things like that. That's a poor example, but you know what I'm saying. And so anyway, Stephen did it. Okay, so I'm not going to be any more winded on this. I just want to set the tone for my brother Stephen Jacobson. mindcontrolinamerica.com. You can go there. Both Wake Up America and Mind Control in America are two separate tabs. When you go there, you can download it for free as a PDF or an audio file, or you can just listen to it right there. Don't have to download anything from the website. And then he's got his book that he also produced. So there's several ways you can support him, but please consider helping a guy that gave everything he's got, and he's got nothing left. Okay, so thank you. And now, my friend Stephen Jacobson, Mind Control in America, what they didn't want you to know, that we tell right here. Planet X, good to have you.
There could be no effective propaganda without education. In the early 1900s, there began a dramatic shift in emphasis in American education from intellectual development to socialization. The goals of education became political and social rather than academic. This was due in large part to John Dewey, who denied the existence of God and moral absolutes. As a result, the concept of right and wrong was removed from the schools, leading to a multitude of problems witnessed today. Professor Dewey based his educational reforms on the experimental psychology developed at Leipzig University by Wilhelm Wundt. Professor Wundt believed that man had no spirit. In his view, man was only a stimulus response animal. This kind of thinking led to the principles of conditioning developed by Ivan Pavlov and behavioral psychologists John Watson and B.F. Skinner. As a result, schools became indoctrination centers designed to bring about a new social order, as facts and knowledge, and dispensed for ulterior motives. According to the minute books of the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, the Carnegie Endowment, the Ford Foundation, the Guggenheim Foundation, and the Rockefeller Foundation worked in harmony for the control of education in America. The key to their plan to bring about social change was to alter the teaching of American history. The Guggenheim Foundation agreed to provide fellowships for doctoral candidates of American history selected by the Carnegie Endowment. 20 prospective teachers were assembled and taken to London to be briefed on what was expected. To investigate tax-exempt foundations created by the 83rd Congress was invited in November 1953 to meet in New York with Roman Gaither, president of the Ford Foundation. Mr. Gaither made a most revealing admission.
Mr. Dodd, we operate here under directives which emanate from the White House. The substance of the directives under which we operate is that we shall use our grant-making power to alter life in the United States so that we can be comfortably merged with the Soviet Union.
In his book, Brainwashing in the High Schools, Professor E. Merrill Root examines 11 history textbooks used in the Evanston Township High School in Evanston, Illinois from 1950 to 1952. None of these textbooks makes it clear that the government of the United States is not a democracy but a republic. The Founding Fathers defined the form of government they established as a constitutional republic. Not one of these textbooks lists the word republic in its index. The essence of psychological warfare is to confuse the meaning of words and infiltrate the mind with conflicting concepts. These textbooks interpret American history primarily as a class conflict between the rich and the poor, a Marxist doctrine. A trend shared by each of the textbooks reviewed was advocacy of a world government. And these textbooks are typical of the approved history taught in schools over the past 40 years. 19th century British Prime Minister Benjamin Disraeli commented that the world is governed by very different people from what is imagined by those who are not behind the scenes. Political and economic power is concentrated in the hands of a ruling elite that controls the banks, large corporations, major communications media, influential foundations. In fact, their power encompasses all segments of society. Their goal is to return the world to serfdom with themselves as controllers of world affairs. Founded in 1921, the Council of Foreign Relations, located in New York City, is the American branch of a society that originated in England and is a key link between the ruling elite and the federal government. The council has been called the Establishment, the Invisible Government, and the Rockefeller Foreign Office. Council members have held and continue to hold key government positions. Administrations, both Democrat and Republican, may change, but the Council of Foreign Relations remains to work its will from behind the scenes. The creation of the United Nations was a council project, as well as the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. The goal of the council is the establishment of a world government. On the international level, an organization similar to the council called the Bilderbergers includes some of the world's most powerful financiers, industrialists, politicians, and intellectuals who meet each year for a conference on world affairs to decide how things will go for the rest of us. The goal of the Bilderbergers is the establishment of a world government. World government was always the goal of communism. The Bolshevik Revolution of 1917 was a turning point in world history. However, the revolution was financed by some of the world's richest and most powerful men. The money came primarily from America and Great Britain. Communism was forced on the Russian people from outside of Russia. Soviet economic and military development has been the result of the transfer of Western technology from Western companies allowed and encouraged by Western governments, principally the United States, Great Britain, France, Germany, and Italy. Communism was a movement created and manipulated by some of the world's most powerful and wealthy men in order to gain control of the world. While the communist world is becoming more like the West, America is going in the opposite direction. The political concepts of the United States have undergone a gradual alteration in order to promote administrative government by appointed bureaucrats rather than the constitutionally mandated representative government by elected officials. A network of organizations headquartered at what is called 1313 at the University of Chicago have been working to restructure local, state, and federal government. 1313 affiliates developed the regional framework to merge city-county government, then county district, district-state, state-region, and on to a region-international merger into a one-world government. The program of these social science organizations is a totally managed and controlled society. Centralization of government functions is a basic socialist principle. Centralization takes government away from the people. The key factor is control. The computer-based planning, programming, and budgeting system is the mechanism for that control. This system was promoted as a modern space-age method for budgeting and accounting, but it is used to achieve behavioral objectives designed to capture the decision-making process of government. Systematic management and control of society replaces self-government. The use of social engineering to control what people think makes a mockery of the informed consent of the governed, the very cornerstone of the Constitution. The conditioning of the mind is not a legitimate function of government. It is the hallmark of tyranny. The dramatic events taking place in the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe are part of a carefully orchestrated propaganda campaign designed to condition the people of the world to accept the eventual merging of East and West into a one-world superstate. A one-world government means the loss of national sovereignty for the United States. All areas of our culture have been corrupted in order to promote this program, and psychological warfare is being waged against the public to accept it, and even demand some of the changes necessary to bring about a new dark age on this planet. The plan is as old as history, with its modern manifestation having reared its ugly head in 1776 when Adam Weishaupt, professor of canon law at the University of Ingolstadt in Bavaria, founded the Order of the Illuminati, the Enlightened Ones. The goal of the Illuminati was the creation of a new world order. This was to be accomplished by infiltrating all areas of society and destroying civilization from within. The public has been deluded about the material aims of a few and the very existence of the hidden rulers who sit at the very pinnacle of power and see themselves as lords of this planet. The purpose of government is inexorably tied to the purpose of life. The sum of good government is knowledge of the purpose of life and the administration of society towards that goal. If the men in leadership positions in the world do not know the objective of life, then they are not capable of administering a peaceful society. If, however, they do know, then what we see happening in the world is the deliberate attempt to undermine the primary objective of life. The missing dimension in world politics is the spiritual dimension. The problems of life cannot be solved by material means. Modern civilization is missing the point of life. Human life is meant for understanding spiritual values. Real knowledge is knowing yourself, what you are, what God is, and understanding your relationship and duty to God. It is our duty to understand God, abide by His laws, and learn to love Him. Then all of our problems will be solved. When men are not governed by God, they will be ruled by tyrants. The material world is just like a prison. The spirit soul is imprisoned in a material body which is imprisoned in the material world. We do not belong in this material world. We are spirit souls and belong to the spiritual world. Modern civilization is wrongly directed to the fulfillment of sense gratification, the basis of material life and a barrier to spiritual realization. The demonic believe that the enjoyment of the senses is the ultimate goal of life. However, it is not possible to become peaceful and happy in the attempt to gratify the temporary senses. The result is usually the opposite. A materialistic culture based on sense gratification agitates the mind and senses. Unless one controls the mind and senses, one cannot make any spiritual advancement. The great sages of all bona fide religions were completely free of material attachments because they knew that spirit is permanent while matter is temporary. Our present culture would have us debase ourselves and become more and more entangled in materialism, so that the path to the spiritual world is blocked. The demonic wish to make this planet a closed system, where it cannot function for the purpose it was intended. The material world was created to give man the opportunity to purify himself of his material consciousness. For the aim of life is to go back home, back to God. The demonic cannot go back home until they rid themselves of their demonic mentality, and so they wish to make it impossible for anyone else to return home. This is the ultimate goal of psychological warfare: to entangle man in materialism so that he cannot return home, back to the Supreme Lord. Mind control in America. Break it.
Okay, and well, that was my dear friend, longtime friend and brother, Stephen Jacobson, and what he did to produce this. You can see this was like 25, 30 years ago when he produced this. Now, did it all not come true, ladies and gentlemen, right? I mean, it was like right on with all the points. The only one about what that actually, the point that was not correct was about the sovereignty of America, because America was never sovereign. And because it was founded by the Illuminati in May 1st, 1776, and the Communist Party, okay, and we should add Jewish banking. So that's the real score of what happened, ladies and gentlemen. And let's go to that other clip, which is the thumbnail, Ninja, if we could please, for a moment, and that creates a little bit for discussion at the same time. And we're going to go through a few symbols. What my note here is to dissect the code. And by the way, yes, please support Stephen if you can. If you could give me a $5 love gift, that would make a big difference for him. You know, he's got no support. As far as I know, I'm perhaps possibly the only one. I know he's got some friends, but he's got really basically nowhere. The only place he has to go is the place he doesn't prefer to go. So I don't know anything about that, but his situation is rather grim. He's so ill that he literally would not be able to pick up his boxes of books and, you know, relocate him somewhere. He's practically bedridden at the moment. And so, you know, money can help get him some nutritional things that he needs. He shouldn't be taking the medication he mentioned he's taking in that email. But, you know, if it's all he's got and it's free, then maybe it's better than nothing, you know. And but I've never seen Stephen not positive. I mean, he's the most disciplined guy, and never, you know, never has a shout about anything other than he's in gratitude all the time. So please support a real American hero. That's what we could call him, and who gave everything he had and now has nothing left. So thank you. We're all going to be going down here real soon, ladies and gentlemen. But if we could just send a little love around, that would be really great. And Queen Peachy Keen, is that Shannon? I'm trying to figure this one out here. Queen, the river. Don't tell me the river dried up like out in West. Come on. Anyway, we'll find out. So I want to do and we figured out how that buffering occurred as well. Ninja whispered in my ear. So we got that fixed. Okay, that's good news, because I was really thinking we were going to be in for it again. But so far so good, and her computer has really been working better, miraculously. Thank the Heavenly Father above to allow us to do this. Okay, so we do it on a song, a wing, and a prayer, ladies and gentlemen. But don't forget, you are our prayer, and we certainly welcome your support as well. Okay. And I've been given everything I had for already like 30 years. 1990 was when I started into political activism and telling the truth on public radio. So So it's been a long journey. I really didn't expect to be here this long, and I have so many friends that are no longer with us, and it's there's been a lousy saga. But the only solace I get that no, that's not Shannon. Okay. So anyway, mystery queen. All right. Well, good to have you. And the picture looks kind of familiar. All right, tip the hat. Thank you. Crystal? Okay. Is that Crystal? Out of Texas. Out of Texas. Okay, good. Good to have you, Crystal. And so all right, so where was I? Okay, so I've got a graphic and let me oh, I can't do that. So all right. Ninja, you need to pull these graphics up. So what do? I want to shoot it in Skype to you real quick. Is that what we do? And that'll help you to be able to set it up. Uh, right? You can just open Skype and put it on your screen, can't you? Huh? Okay, so I'm gonna have to do. I'm afraid, I want you to know I was just a little afraid to do a screen share. Are we gonna try it? We're gonna do a screen share then? We'll try it. We're gonna find out, ladies and gentlemen, if a screen share will overload our system here. But let's do it. Let's give it a shot. So only way we're gonna find out. So okay, let me close this out. And yeah, because we're talking the codes now. And so because before I talk about the Indo-Germanic, I want to show you how really everything is in a code. And I can give you quite a few examples here. So screen share. So are you going to be able to watch my screen then? You're going to be able to pull it up on Skype, right? Ninja, it's your desktop, right? It's your desktop feature on. Well, then can you do it on your end? That's the question. So we're trying to figure out the best way to do things here. And I've got to be able. Okay, we should have had this discussion. You knew I was going to show the book and everything. You used to show the PDFs. You used to scroll through them for me. I don't get it. All right, let's do the screen share. Here we go. And don't forget, if we get buffered, then do refresh, ladies and gentlemen. If you get bumped off for any reason, we're going to give it a shot here. Okay, start sharing screen. I don't need to share sound. Okay, so, okay, are you looking at me? Talk to me. You can, it's okay, so it's working? Okay, good. All right, so, oh, okay, so we're still waiting for that. Okay, all right, stay focused. Should have said we do it on a song, a wing, and a prayer, and a ninja. Okay. We'll get this worked out. Remember, this is our first broadcast in like 9 months or something like that. I've been working on the book the whole time, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to share it out with you after we do the codes, okay? And give you a little presentation on what we've got here. Making history. I'm telling you, I'm literally with this the translation of the KLD, which is also a dictionary in the margins, basically showing the original thought, the Indo-Germanic, the original words. And the code. I revealed the code. I'm giving it all out. Okay. I mean, it's it took a lifetime to learn, and I'm putting it all out there for everybody's benefit. Let me know when we're good, Ninja, because I'm just talking until you're good. Okay. That's that's fine. All right. Well, it's gonna then take a minute because I'm on the screen, and all right. Okay. So, okay, so we're still waiting. And so anyway, yeah, I've been from getting out of bed every morning. It's not morning. You don't want to have a funeral. It's not morning. It's morning. You get another opportunity one more time. And so every morning, I till bedtime, I've just been working on the book. So now, Ninja, I'm looking at your control panel. Okay, there we go. Now there's my desktop. Okay. It's not centered, but you're working on that. Okay, good. It's centered in there now. So let me go ahead and minimize this. Okay, and I'm going to now pull up. Hey, we're doing it. Look at that. You're doing it. Okay, and so here's and if nobody ever got a copy of this, I didn't get the hard copy up on Amazon or on Lulu yet because it was, well, maybe it's on Lulu now. Ninja, didn't you get that Word document up on there, right? So the hard copy is available now, right? You got that, or you haven't done it yet? All right. Well, she'll check it out and get it up there because it's good to go. I got it. Yeah. Uh, all right. And then I got to get it to Shelly to get up on Amazon. So the reason I haven't done it in the last 2 years is because I had the PDF locked, and then I had to find the original because even though Ninja got it unlocked somehow miraculously, it wasn't balanced. And so now I've got the original copy and I'm going to get it up there. So this is my first officially published book, although I was sabotaged in the process, as the way everything seemed to go. And so my first book was a non-published. I got 50 copies made and just basically gave them away because of extenuating circumstances. But there's the Real Da Vinci Code Etymological Dictionary, and I'll just give you a quick little preview on this, okay? Because it was a lot of effort and inspiration went into this thing, and it was a 3-column dictionary. You can stop these graphics when you do a replay, and see it real quick. But like this is the beginning of the dictionary, so or where is it? Yeah, it starts here, and then and so 3 columns, and so it's like 3 dictionaries in one. Each column is a different dictionary, and I don't know why that graphic is not coming up. Oh, there it is. Okay, so voodoo right there, huh? And so in the back I've got appendices, and so when you scroll to the back, and I can get it to you on PDF, by the way. Just give me a heads up and I'll shoot it to you. Don't need any funny money. Just want to get it to people out there who are trying to figure things out. But we do take love gifts at the same time. So any way is fine. Okay, getting close. Here we go. And so what I have here, just so you're up on this appendix number 5, the kingdom of the Khazars, above the Caspian and the Black Sea area in what's called the steppes or the foothills of the Caucasus Mountains on the northern end. And so, okay, so this is where they tell you who they are, the people who call themselves Jews today, a brief history of the terms for Jew. And so these very same people in the 1980 Jewish Almanac, where we read, strictly speaking, it is incorrect to call an ancient Israelite a Jew, or to call a contemporary Jew an Israelite or a Hebrew. So right there in their own words, you see, these entire 3 pages in their own words, they boast about who they really are, and all they're doing is putting the mind control, thank you, Stephen Jacobson, on you and I, ladies and gentlemen, all these years. But they tell you in their encyclopedias of Judaica, the Universal Jewish Encyclopedia, the primary missing of Ashkenazi and Ashkenazism in Hebrew is Germany and Germans. Remember I talked about that on the previous programs I did with starting with Jesse Hall, right? On the go to the Forbidden History Chronicles, 4 words, the Forbidden History Chronicles, and I point out how the Jewish banking ran all the fronts in World War I, World War II, and now the third one, right? And we're in the handbook of morals and dogma for Freemasonry. They said they would have 3 world wars, and in the end, they would destroy all of Christianity. Just a wonderful group of people following the Babylonian Talmud. But continuing on further, then they even show you how ahead of time they're going to commit mayhem and murder on our planet by going to this graphic next. What we got here? Yeah, this is a classic. I put. It took me a year to produce this. 300 pages, just shy of 300 pages, and then it got sabotaged. And it's okay because it just makes you a tougher nail. You get tough or you die, one or the other, you know. And so I just tough it out and give thanks for all things. That's what you got to do in this terrible, bitter pill of a world, ladies and gentlemen. You have to give thanks for all things, even the persecution. Okay. So, so I have here um, what was an album. This is months before 9/11 occurred, months before, and I got to pull it up here. I guess I got to go bigger. Is that helping? Oh, you can't watch it, right, Ninja? You can't. So you'll just have to see the. All right. So you got something to look at. All right. All right. So I'm hoping that this is great. Okay, let's get a check from one of our. Well, it'll be delayed. It won't work. So we'll just do it. We'll go for it. All right. So you look at this album, and it's got the coup, right? And so the coup, you know what a coup is, right? It's a takeover. And so with 9/11, they're ushering their new age, right? It's now the occultic age that they're ushering in, 2001, a new beginning, right? The old world is done, and so what we see here is parental advisory, right? Parental advisory. She's the orchestrator. She's uh, helping the band play the music while they explode the towers. And this guy's got the detonation, right? He's fingers on the button to detonate the bombs. And so it's called Boom Party, right? And I can't read the bottom anymore, but that may be where it said that. But here we see, if we read it from bottom to top, it says party music. Well, I guess they're really planning on having a party, aren't they? Party music. But if we realize that it's a code, then we can tip it over a little bit, and then all of a sudden we can read it a different way. And it reads 3 or 4 ways. So here we got party music, and now we got over here. This is the symbol of a serpent. You can see that crescent, the backward C, is a serpent. So serpent, I call it Serpent Lucifer. I did this, you know, over 10 years ago. This was 2011 when I pulled all this together. Um, and then you see the word I, as in you and me, I, and then saw, SAW, and then a trap. So I, Lucifer, I saw a trap. And then we read it one more time because these are letters that can change in different ways. And then also, so this is an upside down P for trap, but then it's also, you see the little E right in the very bottom of the circle. And so it's a DE, and I saw a trade. Wow, these people are just masters, aren't they? Too bad they don't work on making it a better world with all that talent. And so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So you can get this and you know, share it with friends. We're gonna, like I say, it's gonna be in book form very soon. Okay. And so that's all of that. And then we just, oh, here's another good one. Roosevelt said, we didn't know, you know, that Pearl Harbor was going to be bombed. Gee whiz, we should have known. But wait a minute. This is my friend Ralph Epperson who pulled this together. He actually got the microfiche from the newspaper in Hilio, Hawaii, in the Tribune Herald. And the weekend before, Japan may strike over weekend. So week before the attack of Pearl Harbor, it was in the newspaper. There's Japan may strike. Wonder what Navy intelligence was doing at the time. I guess they don't read the newspaper, huh? Wow. So what a strange world we've got, ladies and gentlemen, right? That's all, of course, Roosevelt's Illuminati. You know, they're all the Nazis. They're all the Ashkenazis. They're all the Khazar Ashkenazi, you know who's, right? The JOOS, that love us to death. And then there's a code on States of America. That's the GH right there. Means return, return. So when the Illuminazis, the Communist Party founded America, right here, they put the code in the Declaration that said that it's gonna return. Look at the middle of your keyboard on your computer. The 2 central letters. What are they, Ninja? Oh, okay. Never mind. GH. Right. GH. Okay. You can't hear her. I thought you all can hear her. So anyway, that's that, ladies and gentlemen. And what a sicko world we have. Let me close that one out. And by the way, you know, what I really want to do is generate call, and I don't know if I wish I should do that. So if anybody out there wants to call in, I'd love to hear from you. If you have a comment or a question, we're gonna Skype. We're gonna try to do our calls on Skype, but you can call in on the phone. I've got I can put it up to my microphone and people can hear you. But if you have a question, you can put it in the chat. Try to make it a simple, a few words, and maybe put it in capital letters. In fact, put my name in caps. If you have a question or a comment for me, put my name in all caps, and then then type out your question in upper and lower, and Ninja will see it, or I'll see it when I get back on the screen. But at the moment, I'm going to go to the work I've been doing now, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to show you a few words. Actually, I didn't finish. Okay, let's do those words. I forgot. Let me do those words here, and I'll tell you what, Ninja, we're gonna. I've got to take a break because I'm feeling it in my voice. This is my first broadcast, so I don't talk to anybody, ladies and gentlemen, very often, and or do broadcasts, and so and I'm weaker today. I'm 65, and so let me go ahead, and then when we come back, we're going to do words. Let's go to our next break. Okay, I'm glad you're tuned in. I got to stop sharing the screen. Let me do that first, and this is our premiere broadcast. We're just getting our feet wet again and trying to learn all the tricks of the trade here for broadcasting. Okay, but glad to have you. I want to thank you for telling your friends about the broadcast. All right, and we'll be back. And then if you want to call in at that point when I get back, be happy to take your call. Okay, so I'm Desert Owl telling you, come on back. We'll be just away for about 5 minutes. Okay, and yeah, thank you for that, Victoria. The Forbidden History Chronicles, 4 words. All right, back to you, Ninja. You there? All right, we're back. Okay, thank you for that, Ninja. And ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to go to a screen share again. And that was a quick break. Boy, oh boy. All right, let me just take a sip of this real quick. I was multitasking, then I got a phone call at the same time. But not a question. Not a question. Okay, I don't understand it. I guess everybody figured it all out. I mean, I did 30 years of being a political activist and 50 years of doing ancient history, and have unraveled the deeper secrets of this planet, and nobody's got a question for me. I can't get over it, but that's okay. It'll happen. You know, they always say, you know, in radio, the ratio that they always said was, you know, in order to get one caller, you got to have 1,000 listeners. So we've only got 1% of that right now, and so we gotta do some legwork here. But let me get the screen back in share mode, and screen share. Boom, and boom. Okay, very good. And it's nice to see when things work, ladies and gentlemen. I have to tell you, we're going to do some words. Let me know when we're good, Ninja. Okay, because I got the Word document set up now. We're going to show a little bit of that code real quick, since we were talking about the coup and how they had a very Q code. What? We're good? We're good?
No, I'm getting there. Okay.
Okay, we're not good. All right, so we'll, anyway, I've got the graphic up, and we'll just hang on till we hear that we're good, okay? And how do I get that chat back up? Okay, don't need that. All right, and so thank you for your patience, and Ninja's figuring it out right now. I can hear the smoke.
Okay, I think
coming
we're
out
good.
of we're good. Okay, let me check the screen. Okay, it's still on the song? Oh no, the logo is there.
There's
and
a delay.
Okay, there's a delay, right? And we're going to come back to that. Okay, when I move away. Okay, let's hold. That's okay. We'll go do the rest of the codes first, and then we'll come back to this graphic. That'll be the next thing, all right? Because that's a code also, right? These are codes, and so we'll start with that as the definer as we go into the KLD and show some of the code in there, and I'm going to show all the. Yeah, it's a big enchilada. Okay, so there's your desktop. Okay, there. All right, that's working. Right, so now I'm going to pull up the Word document, and I'm using this as a working plate. So this is where I kind of like my workbook for doing the code, and if we'll scroll through it to get to the place I need to start, but I just wanted you to, this like a retrospective. I wanted you to see some of the stuff. I did all of this stuff when I was starting with Jesse Hall, okay, and but and you can when you play this video back, you can stop it and then focus on it a little bit. Remember, what you focus on is what you become conscious of. And I'm revealing the code in here, just like right up here real quick. See, VAT. What VAT is that? Well, VAT is bet. You see, bet is VAT. They changed the V and made it a B. They hid it from you. They didn't want you to see it. The V was the second letter of the alphabet. How do you like the idea of people playing games on you? You like having games played on you? Because there's the AV right there. You see, it's the star of creation. The V is the upside down pyramid, and then out of the star, the alpha, comes the V. Okay, and that's how it's AV, and I think we just pointed that out up here, didn't we? The AV Zorro. So there's your original alphabet. The first 3 prime letters, then the D for darkness and death. These are symbols of light. Then the 4th letter became the symbol of the sun setting and darkness. And that's what's unfolded on us, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. And but there is a road back. And so as you can see, the A looks like a highway. It's coming from infinity at the point. It's coming forward from infinity and stretching out into infinity, coming from one point to the other. And it just keeps on going, never stops. How many years did it take me to see that simple element within that symbol? Okay, signs. Confucius said signs and symbols rule the world, not words nor law. Okay, and that's what they're doing. They're flashing all their signs, right? They feel special, giving putting a hand over the left eye, showing that they're serving the blind goddess Lucifer, Lucy in the sky with diamonds. The moon is the star of darkness. The moon is beautiful, but that's where they say it's got two sides, right? There's the dark side, but it's not talking about the backside, because all the sides of the moon get sunlight. We're talking about the darkness, the occult dark side that embraces the moon, because we're supposed to embrace the light of the sun. There's the history of the word of this culture. The Ashkenazi Khazar Aryan, who call themselves Jews today, are all presented here. But they go back, if we take it back to the Indo-Germanic, to the original word, this word here, Jews, goes back to, and I found it in the Indo-Germanic dictionary, okay? It's there. And then I saw it, I immediately recognized it, Uis. And so this word literally means law. So they call themselves the law, right? And because they created with the new letter J that they brought in the early 1800s, they gave us the judicial, the jury, jewelry, right? Judge, the J word, right? And so this part of this I got from Charles Weissman. It was in his book, but I pulled together the Indo-Germanic part of it, and and then just enhance the presentation here. But we've been lied to on every front, ladies and gentlemen, and it's about life and death, and they're coming for the little ones, and so we need to be up on the game. There's the anagram in the middle there for this word. You know how you read it backwards, upside down, forwards, you name it, and the royal for out of India, whereas they got the J on the front of all these words, right? But then when we go to India, we find out that the king is called the Raj. And so it's at the end of the word, because the India is first. So now the J takes a step back, becomes the second player, and the back of the word Raj for royal. Okay, and so the J is behind the Ra for the light in the Brahmanism, Hinduism, pretending to be the light, because as who was it? Manly P. Hall, 33-degree Mason, said that the Masonic light is darkness. So they pretend the light, but they are of darkness. They carry the torch. Became the Deutsch, then became the German. But the Deutsch is the torch that they've been running with from the beginning of the Aryan race. Okay, so there's your Ashkenazi. So I show how the words are broken up in here. Aisha is the royal eye. Ken means lawfulness. Ashken, Nazare. Is where we get the word Nazi from. There's the original word for the Nazare, what we called the Nazarite priesthood. And so a lot to study there. And I'll tell you, they worked overtime. They worked, this is thousands of years of prep, ladies and gentlemen, thousands of years to be where we are today. And then you see the rising sun in all of these flags, right? East and west. And it's all run by the banks. All the war, all those cultures, we thought they're the enemy. No, there is no enemy. Okay? It's just a game. It's called theater. And there's our Northern Territory sellout of Australia, wants to jab everybody, and then he started crying because they were threatening my family. Oh. Well, guess what, buddy? You've been threatening everybody else's family, haven't you? Now you didn't like it when they did it for you, but look behind him. We got the orange, the secret 33rd degree orange back there, and then we got the communist red on the other shoulder. Boy, he's looking good, isn't he? Boy, he's looking good. Looking like a communist. Smells like a communist. Acts like a communist. Didn't like getting beaten up. He only wants to use his boot on somebody. And then there's our anti-fascist culture. We got one that came from World War II. They were doing it back then. The communists come in. They're the anti-fascist, right? And then here's our modern version of it. These were on the buildings in Germany during the war. And then here, just when banking took over in 1933, we now have the Star of David, and we have the swastika, and we have the all-seeing eye and a clover leaf, 4-leaf clover, all on the end of the Depression gold coin. Okay, go figure, right? They stole all the gold. I guess they make an impression. And there's again the symbol. All are the same symbol. The letters are the symbols of light. So you got the upper triangle, lower triangle, the alpha symbol, prime symbol of the sun. The V is the lower creation that came down, and in the swastika is the filfat. That's the fan. Just imagine it's spinning, and it's coming down, and we don't see it in 2 dimension. It's coming down in 3 dimension, and it's going in a circle. It's spinning and it's falling at the same time. So it's not just a sound wave like up and down, but it's spinning, going up and down and around and around and around. Okay, and so continue here. And by the way, I've decided I want to go through the alphabet. I'm going to go through the A through the tau, the A through the T, the original alphabet, and help you to be primed for the Indo-Germanic that I'm bringing forward, because what I'm revealing is what they stole from us, ladies and gentlemen. They stole all of this, okay? And Assyrians would be correctly Aryans, but they liked the ass, for their cousins, the lower ranking. They pushed them out of, the Brahmin country of northern India, got them out in Mesopotamia. They became the first warfaring class, the Assyrians. And I did a presentation on that, like I said, with Jesse. Then we can see how the words, I reveal the code by breaking the words apart. They abbreviated them, they compressed them, they changed out letters. And so this is give you an example of how these words, vat is serpent, of course, and then the vat of Cain. The vat, is something you can put liquid in as well and mix it up. A mother is motor, matter. Okay, Japan. Where'd that J come from? Since it wasn't a part, it would have been a Y. Yafan. There's the fan for the filfat again, talking about the sun, showing it is the land of the rising sun, because it's the first piece of land that gets the rising sun on the Asian front, right, on that big continent. So there's all of those elements are right there. But Hirohito, by the way, who waged war in World War II on the world with Nazi Germany, he had all of his billions of dollars in, where do you think? Switzerland, right? The Jewish banks, of course. So it's such a shell game, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah, I put Jufan for Yafan. Soros, we know about Soros. So you can see that George Soros has a power name, right? He's Zorro. He's the big O, buddy. And he was pointing fingers down in World War II in the Eastern Front of all those who were going to go to the prison camps, all of his brothers and cousins, all being put on rail cars. But Zoros didn't go. Wonder why. Nickel. Okay, so going further. Law of the Khan, lexicon. Read the code. Law of the Khan, ladies and gentlemen. Talking about words. Democracy, Demokritos, the demon creation. Okay. Meta means beyond. Hittite, those were after the Assyrians. Then one group became the Hittites. Right there at this important juncture where East meets West. Okay, power keys, toward K, Khazars, keys. The K is the keys. Okay, this is the original word for keys. Just giving you like a quick primer here, showing you these words. In other words, a statement I've been making for a number of years now. The problem that we really have, ladies and gentlemen, is they never taught us how to read. And if you don't know how to read, then aren't you a slave? You'd have to be, right? Because free men know how to read. In the ancient time, they wouldn't let the slaves read. They were not allowed to write pictures or write alphabets. But then they said, some of them, if we taught them to read, they'd be better slaves. They could work. And sure, okay, let's do that. So they upgraded a little bit, but when they did it, they weren't going to reveal their true alphabet. They weren't going to reveal the true words, and that's why what they're doing here, what I'm revealing to you, is not new. It's old. They've always abbreviated the words. They never wanted their slaves to know that the Indo-Germanic was a spiritual. It is a spiritual code, because these capital letters that I'm talking about here, not small letters, the caps, the uppercase, what they call Phoenician alphabet, but it predates the Phoenicians, is a spiritual code. It is the code that was breathed into Adam. Okay? It was breathed into Adam, the breath of life. And so these are seeds of light and seeds of life. And so to interpret them, will set you free, because in other words, I'm not like, like, where did you get this? Well, it's a revealed code. You keep working with it like you work with a game. You get good at playing a game, right? A word game, game of chess, or if you're a scientist mixing with chemicals, pretty soon you find out that different chemicals do different things when you combine them, right? You get different results. And so all I had to know was the prime roots. What are the prime roots, and what are the ones that they made? The code that they like, the J and the I, they played a trick on us. And so once we can identify with the prime roots and then the parent roots, which are the 2-letter and 3-letter combinations, and we know they're exact, it's easy to point them out once you know them. And then all of a sudden, you can read for yourself. So that's all I'm trying to do here, is to show you what is your heritage. And by the way, I just want to point out with the this thing about the Aryan, because I'm referring to this as the Indo-Germanic, which is the Aryan alphabet. It doesn't matter what race you are, okay? Whether you're from parent root comes from Africa, or the Chinese, or Oriental, what we call Oriental today. Even the Indo-Germanic are Oriental, if you know the meaning of the word. But or the Dravidic and in southern India, or it doesn't matter, or what culture at any time. We're all the same on the inside. It's the outside creates the illusion, right? And so, but the Aryan race had a specific job when it was breathed into Adam, and then he passed it on to his sons and his family. And then the Watchers fell. The Watchers, were that Aryan race. We find that total story having come out of Ethiopia in the second book of Adam and Eve. In the lost books of the Bible, you'll find it. And but my point is that the message that the Aryan was supposed to bring to mankind was that he was a spiritual entity, that he was not like an animal, strictly here to have sense, or the way Stephen Jacobson said it so well at the end of his production, a sensual being, to have sense experience. But it was the senses that needed to be denied to recognize what was hiding within us, which was beyond the physical 5 senses, and something supernatural, beyond the mind, the meta. So, but the Aryan race fell. The Aryan race decided, hey, we got all this head knowledge, so we know that we can enslave everybody, we can take over the world and have a party, and so that's what they did. Okay, but it's not. There's no promotion of the the Jews are Aryans, right? Those who call themselves that, who are really Ashkenazi, Khazar Aryan, right? Khazar, there's Caesar, Khazar, and we see the Tsar. The original word for Egypt is Metzar. Okay, and then we find the Tsar moves into Babylon. Then we get Nebuchadnezzar, and then from Babylon it goes over to finally at its last stop of entry into Rome, where we get the Caesar, but it's correctly Khazar, and we shouldn't let out Turkey either, because Turkey had the Tsar as well, and so it's a big game that's been played on us. They print all the books, they control the alphabets, they do it all. They go to space, they go to underwaters, they wage wars, they build the military machines, they got all the communications, they own pharmakia, they print the money. You tell me how people think they're actually going to take them down, kind of like, and get back to America. It never was yours. America, I just told you earlier, founded by the Communist Party. Look, here's a bunch of people that are filled with bull, right? See that right there? Let's get a closer look. Oh yeah, there they got right on the back of the Catholic priest in their masses. Okay, they got the bull all in your face. I better blow this up. I bet you this is too small for somebody. Forgive me. I should have gotten bigger on that. Okay, well there's right on the Catholic priest, the bull. Then the 4 directions. There's your Knights of Malta, the Maltese cross, right? The prime military protecting the Vatican, Knights of Malta. Another secret society, like all those secret societies. There's Lucifer. There's Lucifer. There's Lucy. Lucifer. Lucifer, meaning the true code. So their woman is a code. And that's why they have a dress code. You know, like the Scottish, they got the kilts. Oh, they're dressed to kill then if they got the kilts, right? Dressed to kill. And they got the Argyle. They got the lines going horizontally and vertically. That means those are roads, crossroads. And every road is their road, you see? True cipher. I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing this so long, I get cynical. Job is Job. There's no J, there's no B. It's a Y and a V. And so there's, things that can be said about that. There's the moon, there's the sun, and right in the middle, then it must be the earth. Okay. And there's void for the original word for void, the D, they put the D on it so that you'll die when you try to cross that void because you won't know who you are and where you are or why you are. Harvest, there's that's the hour. Okay, the R is the hour, the H is the, and the R with the H is the hour, and there's your vest for your investment. So literally you have a harvest. That's called your hour of investment. Why? Because you spent a whole year of prepping for this, and you're hoping to have a good return. Well, guess what? This fall, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to have a good return, okay? Because they've just burned up 25 or 30 now this year alone, most of them in the last 6 months, food processing centers, okay? Like, when did that ever happen before, right? Isn't it obvious? That's what Stalin did in Jewish-controlled Soviet Union, right? He literally destroyed all the farms. He starved the people out, put them down into submission, kicked them in the teeth while they were down, right? How many did they kill? About 60 million people, right? In the first Stalinist regime, 60 million people. And somebody wants us to cry crocodile tears over the illusion of supposedly there was 5 million of somebody killed, but it's not true. Okay. But isn't it funny that nobody talks about the 60 million Christians, Jehovah's Witnesses, blacks, you name it. Every ethnic group we've never heard of before. All annihilated by this banking cartel that runs the world. Just a wonderful group of people following their Babylonian Talmud. And Superman's father was named Jor-El. Jor-El, right here. Okay, and there's your L that came out of Babylon. And so there's your jur for jury, right? Jurisprudence, judicial, Jor-El. You see, so in I'm trying to remember the implication of that now further, but other than that, he was the law. In other words, the implication is that Superman's father was the law. There you go. That's why I got that right there. I'm trying to remember, right? He was the law. And so that's what I showed you, right? In the Indo-Germanic, the original word for Jew is the law. And so this is how they're talking to each other in the movies. Don't forget, Bubba. Don't forget. And they're reminding each other, Superman or the Supperman. So every Sunday they give you the Lord's Supper, right? But they're really serpent men, I guess we could call them too, right? Serpent men, but they got the cape. Superman's got the cape on his back, and that's the capias. That in the legal dictionary, capias means the power to take, that which takes. Yeah. Okay. I'm probably not going to be too long-winded today, ladies and gentlemen, and because I'm feeling it already, and I got to get my voice back up. But the Freya, the Fe, the Santa Fe Railroad, out of the Spanish. What's his name? Edgar Allan Poe wrote The Island of the Fae, a short work. The PHY, the PH is the original letter. They supplemented it with the F. Everything all right on chat? Are you monitoring?
I can't monitor anything. All I can see is the Skype screen. If I monitor, then that comes up on the live stream as well, and we can't see.
You can't see
your
the chat
presentation. I can't see the chat or anything at the moment.
All right. I'm gonna minimize. All right. I'm gonna minimize. Okay, I got it. I got it. All right. Let me go and see in our chat. Can I get a heads up in the chat? Or we got a good audio? Okay. Yeah, I see them highlighting right now. It's still coming through. Okay. Victoria's going, wow. Okay, that's enough. Just needed to double check. Thank you, Ninja. And let's go back to it. Got it. I didn't know if I was talking to myself or if I had a group out there. Let's go back at it. For me, and I wasn't worthy of it, ladies and gentlemen. The Father, Heavenly Father, gave this to me to give to you. This is what you lost. This is called sovereignty. Because when you can put the pieces of the puzzle back together, nobody can control your thinking. Mind control, we did that opener, right, with Stephen Jacobson. Boy, didn't they pull it on the wool over all our eyes. You know, today we have no little ones, right, from first grade to 12th grade into communism. Communist indoctrination going on in the schools of America. No doubt in Australia, no doubt in Canada, no doubt in England and Wales and everywhere else, right? It's the communists, it's the banking, right? And so if you're a mortal, because mortal is mortar, then that means you are dead, mortal, right? Because you want to be amortal. Amortal means, you know, that, well, when we talk about the Kaledi, that'll be in there. And, okay, the Abstar. Oh, I could say so much about all these pictures I'm getting, you know. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words, but I say a word is worth 1,000 pictures. And it keeps on rolling, ladies and gentlemen, when you know how to divide it and add it up, because they are anagrams. Chimera, there's Chimera. There's out of Revelation. I don't have the Revelation there? Okay, it's Revelation 13:4, I think it is, or Revelation 12:4, where it talks about the image of the beast and what it looks like, right? And its head had a wound. There's the blood bleeding, right, of the neck. And it's not the feet of a bear, it's the feet of a dog. And it's the chimera, and it's a picture of life. You get the code. We're speaking, that's why, you know, this is so important. And the capital letters are so important, because that is the code. And it's, there's Maic for, you can see magic is in there because that's the original word for magic. It's the Maic. It's the mother's mysteries. That's what Maic would mean and does mean. It means the mother's mystery. Ik for darkness, you see? Ik for darkness, Ma for mother, Ra for the ray of light, and R for power. You see how all these roots have meaning. They're words. Those smaller pieces are words. Ang for Anglo. That means the one glow, one, and so what it's referring to again is the cult that's wanting to run the world, because it's saying that they are one light, Anglo, one light. And Saxon is correctly sextant. It means for navigator. You hear me talk about the star navigator. Well, there's the word sextant. The X is a code to hide the EKH. That would give us then sextant. Okay, not Saxon, but sextant, meaning that they are star navigators. They're calling themselves prophets. The one light of the star navigators, the one light of the prophets, and also abbreviated and supplemented into our scriptures called angel. But the word angel was never in our scriptures. It was Malik. Malik means royal messenger. Malik means king, because the king doesn't claim to be the head. He claims to be the representative of the one who made all things. He would be arrogant and consider himself dead if he claimed to be above everybody else. But we know King James didn't have a problem with that, right? And so there you go. Put all the pieces of the puzzle together, ladies and gentlemen. It's a big wick, okay? India, Adonai backwards. They took out the sacred name of Yahweh or Yahweh or Yahweh, and they put in Adonai when they came back from Babylon. And guess what? Adonai backwards is India. So that's the God they're worshiping, the mother star. The word Lord means our mother who gave us our things in the bigger picture, okay? It takes a lot to pull this story together, and it's taken a lifetime for me, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So Mary was a corruption of Miriam, and then so the oldest scriptures we have do not have Mary. The oldest scriptures in the Greek and Aramaic, which have been, you know, altered, have Miriam. But then I saw it when I learned that, and I realized it was Mitzrayim. That's the original word name for Mary. Look at how they've abbreviated outside the Vatican at the place called the College of Abbreviators. All right, get the picture. They're telling you. They always tell you, like in the word gospel, right? Go spell, fool. Go spell, because you can't spell. Even the word gospel had two L's in the original copy of the King James. Two L's for go spell. Two words that they're putting in your face because they know you can't do it. Because you're a slave. Slave, 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 slave. But we can be set free, ladies and gentlemen. We can be set free and don't have to you know, follow their grand stage, called Washington, D.C. I can't get over that people still want to support the beast, the illusions, the cartoon, it's just amazing. And of course, when you play all this stuff back, Torah, they talk about the Old Testament, right? The 5 books of Moses, they call it the Torah. Well, wait a minute, Torah is bull. And Torah means attack, right? That's why in World War II, they had a code word out of Japan when they were coming on Hawaii. Torah, 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 attack, attack, attack. You know about a bull in a glass Chinese shop, right? You don't want a bull in a shop. So they pulled a bull over our eyes, didn't they? Huh? Yeah, you saw that bull in the back of the Catholic priest, right? They're full of bull. That's their papal bull. That's their ball. You see? And so it's the 5 books of Moses has always been known as the Pentateuch, and the Torah is a code for it, and you find it in the Kabbalah. It says right in there that Torah is a code for Talmudism, world domination, put you in the ground, ladies and gentlemen, put you in the ground. So it's a wonderful world, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, isn't it? Serpent eating its tail. Yeah, that's what's happening. They're eating everything. They're eating us alive. Another code, the X in Alexander the Great, Elek, means the voice. We should have had a the in front of that. The voice, Elek. Oh, and there's Alexa, right? You see, they know it. When you put the pieces of the puzzle together, you can confirm it because and so Alexander the Great. And then we're going to go to a break, Ninja. Okay. And when I come back, I'll type some code real quick. I don't have a lot, just a little. Then we're going to get into the other book, and we'll keep on going as long as people want to keep listening, I guess. So okay. So Alexander, okay, who we know wasn't so great because he was a mass murderer, but literally, so Alex means the voice. Okay, let me see how I'm going to do this. Alekh, Elek. A-N, and D-E-R is Tor, T-O-R. There's that Torah again, T-O-R, okay? And so it means, that's 2 words actually, right there. Okay, so literally it means, okay, the voice. I got some air sound coming through those speakers, microphones. The voice of power. Okay, the voice of power. And so the A-N means one. It means one, but the implication is of as well. And so Alexander, oh, I left out the Z. That's what it was. Okay, the Z. Alexander is the voice of power. Okay, because he was played up. Here he comes. All those long phalanxes, right? That were state of the art, and all those scary looking Greek helmets, state of the art. They had all this state of the art technology. They were the one world order of the day. Okay, and that's how the game is played. They bring one civilization up, then they're done with it. They bring it down. That's the classical phoenix, the 500-year cycle of the phoenix. That every 500 years, the phoenix in the mythology flies back to Meitzar, not Egypt, Meitzar, and then burns up in ashes. And out of its ashes comes another, they said a worm, but that's a code for the serpent. Another serpent cult comes to the table. And that's what happened to America. America, 500 years ago, had a phony discovery by Christopher of the 2 columns, Christopher Columbus, Columbine, Columbia, District of Columbia, and and so that's now it's over. 500 years over. Okay, going down in flames, ladies and gentlemen. The Phoenix is crashing in flames. So we're going to a break now, and when we come back, we'll do at least one more round. We can pick it up tomorrow. We're going to be here 7 days now. It's an end of the world special because we're going down in flames. The record of fires are now in New Mexico, the biggest fires in history, apparently. And the size of the city of Los Angeles has burned now. And so, and forgive me, for saying the end of the world special. It's tongue in cheek, but you know what I mean. And so in this process, we're going to just say it the way it is. and hope that we can help you on your journey. I remember I got a call-in program. If you're trying to figure something out, I don't care if it's political science or ancient history or about words or about the spirituality or the lost writings. You know, I'm pretty well rounded. I haven't stopped studying my entire life, basically, you know, because I wanted to know, because I saw our dilemma and I saw how screwed up, forgive the French, how screwed up I was by my brain dead, heartless parents. You know, they were not abusers, but I got to tell you, just by not being loved is a great experience. Of out one day, you know, you actually were basically a reject. You know, they didn't want you. You know, it took me a lifetime practically to figure that one out. You know, but so I had a lot of overcoming to do, and so I did it for me. You know, I wanted to know. So if you don't want to know, just turn it off. You know, go somewhere. You know, because I'm here to help anybody that wants to figure the great mystery out, because that's what we can do. And there's a lot of good researchers out there, a lot of people doing great work. But at the same time, you know, my playing field is very different than any of the other playing fields. And so there may be something here that you're uh, recognizing that, you know, is relevant, you know, relevant truth. So, okay, so glad to have you, glad to be here. Got nowhere else to go. I'm surrounded by Freemasons that want to kill me, and so I don't go anywhere. And so, okay, we'll be right back after this break. So thank you, Ninja. Thank you, everybody. What do I gotta do? I gotta stop sharing the screen here. Let me do that. How do we do that? All right, it's a juggling act, but life is a juggling act, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen, huh? That's right. Okay, stop sharing. There we go. I got all this background sound. I don't know what's going on. This it's like sounds like the wind blowing through the system. Didn't notice it. Ninja, can you hear me at all? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're having some technical issues, and I just learned by talking to Ninja on the side that her computer is going to shut down. It's lagging because it's an older system. The battery doesn't work proficiently like it used to. We used to be able to do 3 hours or 4 hours, and we're going to break for the rest of the program and pick it up tomorrow. We know that we can at least do a 90-minute program, give or take, and we're going to have to get a price on the battery and see where we can go with that. That's apparently going to be the fixer-upper, okay? And sorry for the technical issues today, but broadcast and share, listen and share with their friends. We didn't put any books, 30 books on Amazon, okay? And we're also on LULU and KOBO. So check it out, okay? A. Micah Hill, Dezert-Owl, all 4 words. A. Micah Hill, Dezert-Owl, 5 words, maybe. Just check it out, okay? And tell a friend. But this information is here to support you. And okay, and if you don't have the funny money, just let us know, and we will get you a PDF version, okay? If you don't have the KLD, we're going to talk about it tomorrow. Hit me up. I can get you a copy of the KLD on PDF, no problema, all right? And if you want to make a donation, fine. If not, you're broke, then just tell me and I'll email it to you, all right? And so we'll be picking it up right where we left off on the codes. We just have about 5 cards here that had the code on it. And then we're going to get into the Indo-Germanic and the KLD, which is all for yourself for the first time, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to just show what I've been doing for the last year, which is a major work, and I made major discoveries, okay? So thanks for being here. Thank you for telling your friends. Thank you for the fine comments. I can see that somebody's long-winded on there. I hadn't been able to read any of that, but glad to have you all, okay? And Tom Velati, hello to Tom. I'm not familiar with you. And so, yeah, tell your friends, and then we'll pick it up tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern time, right here. I'm Desert Owl telling you, don't worry. If you want to know the future, ladies and gentlemen, then just look right here, because it's all right here coming your way now, 7 days a week, one more time. It's what they didn't want you to know that we tell. Peace and light, everybody. And you did tell your friends, right? Okay, well, thank you for doing that. Well, looks like we're going.
Starry, starry night. Look out on a summer's day, with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills, sketch the trees and the daffodils, catch the breeze and the winter chills, in colors on the snowy linen. Understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry night, flaming flowers that brightly blaze in Vincent's eyes of china blue, colors changing hue, morning fields of amber grain, weathered faces lined in pain are soothed beneath the artist's loving hand. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now, for they could not love you. But still your love was true. And when no hope was left inside on that starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, this world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. Starry, starry night, portraits hung in empty halls, frameless heads on nameless walls, with eyes that watch the world and can't forget, like the strangers that you've met, the ragged men in ragged clothes, a silver thorn, a bloody rose, lie crushed and broken on the virgin snow. Now I think I know what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still. Perhaps they never